Hello again. Just doing a little bit of a follow-up again to one of my original videos that I did on my recently acquired Agile AL-3010 from Rondomusic.com. I've had it for almost 4 months now, and the only thing I've done on it so far to date has been a changeover to some Ernie Ball regular slinky cobalts, which has improved a little bit of the mid-range and bass frequency response compared to the default strings. Beyond that, there's been absolutely nothing that's actually broken or fallen off or gotten damaged in the last 3 months plus of casual use, casual playing. So this is again just kind of to follow up, show what the guitar looks like again. Actually, maybe played a little bit through my recently acquired here PV Viper Tube 60, which I have tubes warming up on, and to give things a little bit more of a listen on actually how it sounds on a totally different amp with a totally different set of tubes. And it actually does, the amp actually doesn't have the stock power tubes. It's actually got some Groove Tube 6L6 GEs in it, which are supposed to be like a medium range tube for still being in between clean and having a bit of gain. So again, I went about all this because I was actually looking to get a better Les Paul style guitar. I had a Jack and Danny Brothers LS500 sample that were supposedly unqualified Epiphone Les Paul standard plus tops, and because they didn't qualify, then Jack and Danny Brothers would then turn around, slap their own name on it, and sell it off as one of their own guitars. So it was alright. I sold it off to a younger guy who was getting into guitar, really liked the look of it, so I got a bit of my money back, and at the same time I had enough that I scrounged up that back on December 20th of 2012 after looking around at various sites, including like Trader Tang and such, with these chips and knockoffs. And after watching a bunch of YouTube videos and such explaining how bad, like how much more additional money I would probably have to put into it to make it into an actual playable instrument, plus there'd be no resale value or trade value of it. So I decided that simply looking at what Rondomusic had at the time, a warranty, Kurt and all the other reviews had made it pretty clear that if there was any issues and weren't happy with the guitar, you could return it for a refund or a replacement. So I took the chance, and on December 20th I pulled the trigger and came away with the guitar and case, which at the time I was looking at an Epiphone Les Paul custom in ebony, and again, this was back around October. I'd started trying to plan my funds to do this, and back then the white models were actually really hard to find here in Canada. And then eventually, when I finally got a hold of a couple music store reps that dug around further, they basically said to me that, yeah, we can get you a black one, but they're not going to be available in Canada until March. So there would have been none in Canada till last month. So I turned around in the end and I just basically said, well, for the amount that I would have had to pay, which would have been $4.99 plus tax without a case, I'll take the chance, buy the guitar from Rondo and with case, and go from there. And sure enough, with PayPal conversion fees and their little price gouge on converting your funds, customs in shipping into Canada, the guitar with the deluxe case that you see here, that I'll also try to show you guys a bit of as well. It came out to 507 Canadian, so to me it seemed like a great deal. And so far to date, I couldn't be more happier with any other, I'm glad that I actually never went with the Epiphone, and I think I actually got, as much as the little few nitpicky things about the guitar, I actually think I got a better deal on a guitar that's, I think, more playable and a lot more nicer than what I would have got out of getting the Epiphone $499 Les Paul Custom, plus waiting around for it. So I'm just going to show off the case, try to show it off a little bit more than what I did in the first review that I gave, and also at the same time I'll show the guitar again, give it a kind of view over through the cam, get a better detail on the looks of the binding and such, and maybe point out the few areas that there is a little bit of kind of flaw or nitpicky stuff about it, and then hopefully I'll play it through my amp a little bit and give you guys a bit of a listen on how it actually sounds through a better amp than the Viper 30 I had. Okay, now this case, for the most part, what you see here is basically no different than probably what you would actually get with Gibson on the front or any other brand name. I've seen a lot of the Trader Tang Gibson guitars shipped with cases like this. It's actually really, this is they call it a Douglas. I think it's the Douglas 300, which is their deluxe model. 4 locks. It's got the keys. It's got the really nicely detailed handle that you see on the Gibson cases. This case doesn't exactly at all look like what Rondo charges for it, which is basically, I believe they're about $50. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with a $50 case. They're a great deal. And, it's not garbage. Flipping it open, you get a further look inside of the case. You can see it has the nice it's got the nice padded parts here for holding the guitar in place. Again, there's a little bit of an edge down in the corner here that's a bit of a bald spot that I don't think you can get to see too well, but it's just down in the bottom here, just right around here. But that could be just from the guitar itself sitting in the case. Nice little strap thing here. And it has this nice actual silk covering thing as well that goes all the way up, just like as if you'd find in a high-end Gibson case or whatever. Again, nice little curved thing here. In the flap pocket. The flap pocket, as you can see, they included some stuff here. Blackjack tusk, because the guitar actually has a tusk. It's got a tusk nut, and the string holders in the pneumatic style bridge are actually tungst holders. Supposedly some people have claimed that it actually kills sustain, while it supposedly prevents string snap, breaking strings and such. But to me, I find the guitar is no different playing Allen wrench for adjusting the truss rod. Of course, your keys for your locks on your case. And nice little printout here of from Rondo, basically the order form. And sorry, Rondomusic is in Claremont, New Haven. And in the details, it just breaks down what was ordered and how much it was paid for. I don't know if I can get the cam to focus in on that. I don't think I can. Yeah, it won't do it, but you can see there. And there's Rondo's little icon thing. So overall, I mean, like I said, for what I paid through PayPal for this guitar shipped in across the border, I don't think you can actually get better buying actually through a retailer in Canada. I mean, unless you're probably looking at some other different like brand name, like a Dillion or something. And you know, again, it's functional, sturdy. It's not garbage. It's, you know, you can hear that it's solid. It's not junk. It's a really nice case at a good price. So, yeah, for that part, again, I think they just made it again furthermore a great part of the deal to get the you know, nice deluxe case for relatively cheap. Now again, back to the guitar. Again, it's a little kind of grungy. I've actually pulled most of the plastic off of the cover, off the covers on the front, but I've left the plastic on the actual back. So to give you an idea, this is basically a triple binding. The tusk string holders on the pneumatic bridge, chrome covers, again real ebony and real abalone, which you will probably never ever get on a Gibson product or Gibson authorized. And you have a triple binding that is all around the headstock. And again, you would have to go in. You can see one of the slight blemishes there in the binding. There's another one right there on the corner, but they're actually just kind of, they're under the surface, not really superficial. As you can tell, there's no ruts or lines or anything. That's nice and clean. The only other issue is right here along the top. I can't get my webcam to focus, but in the short part there, there's a little bit of a line or an edge that comes up and through. Beyond that, again, this has supposedly Grovers, and again, if I can get the webcam to focus properly, you can see it has Agile guitars, and it actually says down in the bottom there, if I can get good focus, which I don't think I can, unfortunately, but it actually does say down on the bottom handcrafted in South Korea. And again, you know, all these people out there that are, you know, Gibson fanatics, or it's got to be made in America fanatics, you know, it's sickening, because you know what? No matter how a guitar is made, where it's made, as long as the wood that goes into it is quality, and you know the guitar itself is functional, in the end it doesn't matter where it's made. It's like, as many YouTubers have said, it's the player who makes the guitar sound good, not the other way around, not the guitar. These are nice, actually, nice locking strap things here. Nice bell kind of mushroom look. That alone impressed me. Again, back side of the guitar, I still have the plastic on the covers of the back, but there's the jack. It's a plastic plate jack. I've had no issues with the jack whatsoever. Nothing seems to be warping or whatever, and that's even down here in my basement where it's fairly cool and cold. Again, bindings are very nice. I've actually found the bindings, when I initially got them, kind of looked whitish, but in certain lights it really takes on a creamish color, which you can see when I tilt it a certain way. There's absolutely no flaws in anything on this. And to think anyone in America who actually wants to, you know, not get an Epiphone, not get a Gibson, probably, I would say, in comparison's sake, probably looking at a LTD ESP, which these I think are very close to, and what I would suspect might even be made at the same factory. You can get that for something like this, which again, as you can see here, that is real ebony. That is not, it's not the tusk stuff, and that is actually real abalone. I had a friend come over, and even he took his fingernail, scratched at it, and he said that even with the bit of imperfections you can see in some of the fret markers, he said you can tell that this is real abalone and not garbage plastic shit that you normally get with these supposedly cheaper made in superior quality guitars. And again, can't get this from too many other makers, and you especially won't be getting the abalone option and pearl and ebony fingerboard options out of anything related to Gibson. You're pretty much going to be looking at probably one of these Agiles, maybe even one of these Agiles, probably ESP LTDs. I'm not sure too many other companies that actually use abalone right now in their products, or sorry, ebony fingerboards, because of the foresting laws and such. Again, the knobs, nice, clear, no scratching, very nice, solid, clean sounding like it's there. Same thing as the knobs are, they look like they're a little off per se, but They're not touching or anything. Just the initial sound of this guitar, just giving it a strum, the natural sound of it. You know, tons of sustain. I can't totally 100% verify the weight of this, but it's a lot heavier than the previous guitars that I had. And when I did actually get a chance to put it on a scale, there actually was, it came in at around 8.5 to 9 pounds. So it's very close to what a true Gibson Les Paul standard would be weight-wise. Again, only kind of a little bit of nitpicky type of things. There's a few little bits of abalone that seem like they're a little up in places, have little pits, but you know, nothing that affects, you know, bending the strings over them. And the way the frets, I had somebody just recently ask me how the frets were, and no sharp ends, very well done. They look like they're a medium jumbo, probably. The guitar itself never had to be set up or anything. The tuners have actually stayed in place, so I'm not sure whether they're actually a copy or an actual true Grover, but I haven't ever had any tuner issues with this guitar yet. Volume pots don't make any crackles when I turn it. You know, again, Rondomusic, $300 and some US. Not bad. You actually can, if you can find them when they got a few models left, they'll actually drop their price for decently. And this is, of course, their 3000 series is their high-end series. They do have a 2000 series, which has lower quality rosewood maple board, rosewood fretboards. Electronics are also lower quality. You also get you also don't have very much color selection. Rondo's pretty decent like that. The greatest thing about Rondo, though, is basically like what's going on right now. You can turn around and, such as like what I was looking for. I was looking for that Black Beauty black and gold. Well, they do happen to have one of those models available for regular purchase, but it came out after I ordered mine. And it's like in about the $400 range. The most you'll pay for like other higher end in stock display modeled guitars is like $400 to $550 range before shipping. If you live in the US, you don't actually have to buy it with a case, so that saves you a few bucks plus a few bucks in shipping. But they also do custom shop orders. So you actually say you wanted something like this, except instead of the abalone inlays, you could actually get mother of pearl inlays. They have a few options more, and if you just flush out, say, a base level custom shop, which would be very similar to something like this, you would be putting $285 down, and then once they actually get the instrument in, say in this case they're saying October, they're taking custom shop orders for. When your guitar comes in October, you pay an additional $285 then they ship the guitar off to you. But to get your own, customized, personalized kind of color schemes and so forth, I mean, you can't go wrong for $560. I mean, good luck trying to get that from like Gibson or in an Epiphone or anything like that. And more so now, so they've actually now increased your pickup selection. You used to be able to only get their default pickups, which I think they're either an alnico 2 or an alnico 5. Most people have said that kind of sounds like a 70s-ish Gibson Bucker, but they also offer the EMGs, and also now they offer I think it's the Seymour Duncan Blackouts now on these as well too. Same thing as you can actually get no inlays whatsoever. You can get it like totally black. You can actually get maple. The maple looks really sharp. But anyways, enough of my rambling. Let me jack it in, and when this video resumes after I'm done talking here, we'll do some more sound clips, and I'll just run it through a few of the presets on my amp and let you hear how it sounds. Well, hopefully you enjoyed my little update and leave your feedback, good or bad. Thanks again.